So let's have a look at how to answer part A of McCormack from 2020 paper. So prepare a trading and profit and loss account for year ended 31st of 12th, 2021. So the first thing we have to do is write down our heading. So trading profit and loss account for McCormack for year ended 31st of 12th, 2021. Okay, so make sure you put that in because you're going to get a mark just for that itself. So the first part is our trading account. So we know our trading account is sales. And the sales in this question is coming straight from the trial balance itself because we didn't have any adjustments on it. So we're going to go back to our trial balance. I'm going to look for the sales figure. So our sales figure is 1,850,000. And that's going to go to the third column. So 1,850,000. Then your next heading is less cost of sales. And we know cost of sales is made up of opening stock. And opening stock is, once again, it's taken straight from the trial balance again. So we're going to go and have a look at our trial balance and see how much our opening stock is. So remember, your trial balance is going to be the start of the year. So first to the first. So 51,500. Then we're going to add purchases. Now we know we've got a working for purchases. So we're just going to add another column here just so we can say what number the working is. So we're going to go back to our workings, have a look for purchases. So purchases is working 2, 875,600. So 875,600. That's going to be working 2. I'm going to add these two together. And from that then, we are going to take away our closing stock. And we know closing stock is also part of our workings. So closing stock working 1, and it's 75,400. I'm going to take them away from each other. And then that figure I'm going to take away from our sales. And that's going to give us our gross profit. That's going to give us 998,300. So that's our gross profit. Next thing we do then is less expenses. And we know there's two types of expenses. They are administration. So we make sure we write these in because we can get a mark for these headings. And all we're going to do then is going to work down through the trial balance and see which items go into your administration or any less expensive, and making sure that any adjustments we've done, that we include them as well. So we're going to go back to our trial balance and just work down through them and identify which ones go in to our expenses underneath administration. Okay, so land and buildings. Land and buildings doesn't go in, but our depreciation will go in. So we're going to have depreciation on buildings. And our depreciation is part of our workings. So let's go back and have a look at our workings. So workings then for depreciation. We got working 8 of 12,800. Working 8. Next item then from our trial balance, office equipment. So depreciation from office equipment will also go in. And that's also in our workings. So you go back and have a look at our workings again for office equipment. So this here is 70,400, and that's working 4. So 70,400, working 4. Also, as part of that, we have a loss on the equipment. So we made a loss as part of working 4, and I think that was 400. So the loss then is going to be 400 in P&L. Then we're going to work down, keep on working down through each one of these. So discount. So discounts on the credit side, so it's an income, so it's not going to go in there. Debenture interest, investments, stock, patents. So we have patents or patents. We've got the written off figure will go in here as part of administration. So we're going to have a look at our working for patents or patents. So let's have a look down through our workings. And here we go as far as working 16. So working 16, the written off figure then is 16,250. 16, so 16,250. Then we go back to our trial balance again. I'm just working down through. So we got patents, purchase and sales, that's trading, bad debt provision. So that's going into balance sheet, debtors and creditors, balance sheet, bank balance sheet, wages and salaries, 190. So 196,700. I think we had a working on that as well. So let's just go back and see if we have a working on our wages and salaries. So 196,700. Don't think there was as part of this one. No, so it's going to go in as is in the trial balance. So 196,000. So wages and salaries. 196,700. Then we go back to the trial balance and keep working down. So wages and salaries, debentures and finance by. Dividends paid is going to be in your appropriation. Directors' fees, the next one, 91,000. So directors' fees. So we go back to our workings. We've got commission of 7,000. So that 7,000 was part of directors. So directors' fees is 91,000 plus the 7,000 is going to give us 98,000. So 98,000. And that's part of working 19. So we keep working down through our balance sheet. So director's fees, VAT is the balance sheet. POI, PRSI is the balance sheet. Sales commission, selling distribution. So insurance is going to be next. 25,000. So we got insurance. 25,000, and that's part of working. That's coming from the trial balance. And then if we look down here, insurance, we also had loss on the fire then on stock, which was part of a working at the start. Yeah, so profit and loss, so 5,000 then. So we can say loss on fire. 5,000, and that's part of what working 7. So that's all our administration. So we're going to add these up, and then we're going to same down for the next one, which is selling and distribution. And we're going to get a figure for selling and distribution, and then we're going to add those two together, and that's going to be our total expenses. So we need to put in the heading selling distribution. Remember, you get a mark for putting this heading in. And then the same again, we're going to work down through each item that we have in the trial balance, and we're going to put it in here if it's part of selling and distribution. So we'll go back to the trial balance. Okay, so let's have a look. So we're going to work down through each one of these items. So we got bad debt provision. So we know that our bad debt provision has changed. So we're going to have bad debt provision. And that's part of our working. So let's have a look at our workings towards the end. I think we had a bad debt provision. Yeah, so bad debt provision increased by 134. and that's part of working 20. And we also had bad debts as part of our bank statement. So bad debt 10,500 working 11. So we go back to our trial balance. So debtors, bank, wages, salary, they're all going into wage, salaries in debtors, balance sheet, dividend paid, appropriation account, directors fees, gone in VAT, balance sheet, POI, PSI, balance sheet, sales commission. So it's an expense, so it's going to go on the debit side. So you got sales commission. And sales commission was sales commission 32,000. And then the last item that I think we have down here is going to be advertising 8,400. So 840,000. Then I'm going to add these up. I'm going to add them to our administration. And we're going to take that figure then away from our sales or gross profit, because that's our total expenses. And then we're going to add on any operating income to that section itself. So the operating income we have, just like you mentioned there in the previous one, we got bad debt recovered. So bad debt recovered towards the end. Was part of our bank. 12,000. And then we got a discount. That was taken in our balance sheet. 17,500. I'm going to add those two together. And then we're going to add this to our previous figure. That's going to give us our operating profit. Okay, so just to finish that off then, so I'm going to run out of time on this here. So to our operating income, we're going to add the investment income due. That's from working 13, 2,200 or 2,250. Then we're going to take away our debentures of 20,100. That's going to give us our net profit before tax. Then we're going to take away our tax then of 60,000. All these are coming straight from workings that we have. Then we're going to take away our dividends paid, taken from the trial balance of 65,100. It tells in the question we're going to transfer money to our capital, so 25,000 is going to go to our capital. That's going to give us 159,266. This 127,000 is coming from the trial balance, and that's going to give us a profit then of 286,266. So we would have worked fairly good up as far as this 552,216. Then we're going to add the investment, take away the debentures, take away the tax, take away the dividends prepaid, and just in this question we're transferring. It doesn't happen in every question itself. So this is usually the layout that we're going to have. Usually you will have your operating income, add your investment income due, take away your debenture interest, take away your taxation if it's given to you in a question, less your dividends prepaid. That's part of your appropriation account that will usually be given into in the question. And then this question is different because it's saying we're transferring some money from our profit to our balance sheet itself, to capital. And then this profit here, 127,000. Just be careful, the profit has started here. If it's on the debit side, it's a loss. You're going to take it away. If it's on the credit side, it's a profit, so you're going to add it on. So with this figure here, this is why we're adding on the 127,000, but just have a look for it yourself. So this figure is taken from the trial balance. Your dividends, transfer to question, it's taken from the question. This here is taken from the trial balance.